All right, I can't be up here long because it's 96 degrees in Texas, so it's about 120 up here. But this is one of the smaller grow lights I first started with. And this one, the reason why it's so skinny is it's meant for like a side wall just to fill in spaces. But for you, it might be good. I don't know how big you want to get your plants, but if you have 6, I'd keep them smaller. This one is a bigger. Both of these can fit 600 or 1000 watt bulbs, and I would start off with 600s. This one is ideal right here. See how big that is? Fits in a Lowe's box. That one will cover essentially this area. See these squares right here? This little patch? This one would perfectly cover that, okay? This one is meant for more like, see this one skinny board here? That would cover that board really well. The thicker, the more. So 6 plants, you can get away with 1 600. For 6 plants, definitely go with that. Let me go downstairs and not kill myself. Hold on. Oh my God, it's hot up here. And then I'll talk about light bulbs also. I don't know what you're using for your lights. 1 second. God damn. Sweating dick and balls. All right. Oh my God, it's hot. Anyway, what are we talking about? 6 plants. Cool, you got seeds. I saw that. Genetics are key. The number one thing for growing anything is genetics. If you got random pack seeds, you never know if they're male or female. I got the hiccups now. If you have feminized seeds, those are always going to be feminized, usually. Sometimes you don't get one, but if I would go feminized if you're getting seeds, always go reliable. What I used to do is start with clones. When I was first started growing, I did clones only. And those are always going to produce, they're guaranteed essentially. With seeds, you never know what you're going to get because it's like a child. There's XY chromosomes, YYs, XXs, F1s, F2s, F3s, F4s, right? That's a whole nother story. And I talk way too much to where I'm out of breath. So I'm like, and yes, I walk around when I talk. It helps think. Okay, what else? 6 seeds. Watering. Those seeds look like they're overwatered because the first, the little baby ones that you see, those little round ones, those are called cotyledons. And when those aren't green, like decently colored green, they don't really get dark green, but when they're yellow, that means they're getting too much water. When your leaves, when your first 2 leaves, the baby leaves, are sprouting after the cotyledons, so they're circular ones, then your V's, those are your first 2 leaves, right? When those are drooping, that's not good. They're not getting either enough light or they're overwatered, but they're overwatered, which comes to light. What lights are you using? How much wattage? Do you know the color scheme? Not scheme, but the Kelvin scale. They look like bright whites, which are 2700 kelvins, and they work, but I'd get them closer. If your plants start stretching, like the seedlings, I need to breathe. Why am I talking so much? Yeah, I'm kind of weird like that, but I get really worked up with plants. I really like plants, if you couldn't tell. Yeah, this is a giant African orchid. Okay, anyway, they look overwatered. I'd water them a little less. I'd give them drainage as well. I showed your sister a video of how to cut the bottom of your cups, your solo cups. Make sure they have plenty of drainage, okay? They need as much oxygen as they do water. If they're flooded, they'll get mold and they won't grow that well. What else is there? I'm trying to think everything at once and nothing comes out, right? Oh, and don't worry about buying like plant fertilizer. Okay, I'll show you the best thing on earth to grow plants, to grow anything. Here it is. This is a grower's hack that really no one really knows about, but everyone does. You get this at Home Depot, right? Alaska Fish Fertilizer. It says it won't burn, but you don't want to overfeed it either. So, and the crazy part, I used to use a little bit of Miracle-Gro, just a tiny little, douse of that. Not during flower. That's a whole nother video. So right now you're in veg. So what you do is you use your lights to grow 18 hours a day and then 6 hours off. That's another thing. To keep those plants in vegetative state, you want to do 18 hours of light and 6 hours off, okay? And then when you decide to flower, you go to 12 hours of light and then 12 hours off. But the thing with those plants, breathe, right? I feel like I'm a singer, right? And they're like, I breathe. So anyway, yes, I'm weird, I know. But yeah, so 12 hours of light, 12 hours of darkness. That's how you make them flower. But those seedlings will take about 4 to 5 weeks to become mature enough to even flower. So don't worry about that for another 4 to 5 weeks. Once they get to about, I'll say, 12 to 18 inches, the biggest mistake every grower, I did it many times. You'll do it too if you keep growing. The biggest mistake I did was vegetate them too long, 18 hours and 6 hours of darkness, and they'd get really big, right? And I thought, oh man, they look really healthy. Let's flower them now. Well, what happens when you flower a plant like this is it stretches. And some plants stretch 2 times their size, right? So you have a nice little 18-inch plant. That motherfucker will get to 36 inches. And if it's more sativa-based, it might stretch 3 times its height. So you might have a plant, you only have certain growth space, right? So say you can only grow up to here. You have a plant that's down here, like, oh, okay, it'll be fine, but it will stretch all the way up until your fucking grow height is, where your grow lights are. So don't do that. That's why I like clones, because you can pretty much flower them whenever you want. And yes, that's my swim trunks. When I started growing, the best plant I grew was an 18-inch Blue Dream clone. It got me 3 ounces, no shit. And that was like pure Blue Dream, the OG cut, 17%. And that was some of the best smoke I've ever had. My first plant. So genetics, the biggest thing right there. Soil is your second biggest thing. You want good, okay. This is all right soil. See the perlite? Perlite are these little white beebles here. They're for drainage, right? And when the roots get near them, they suck in the oxygen from them, which hard to explain, but yeah. I'm trying to think. Who the fuck is eating my food, you son of a bitch? Motherfucker! Ah! You don't eat my food! That's how you stop a cat from eating your food. Oh, Ruger, it's okay. Great, now I have to throw out my fucking chicken. Piece of shit cat. Well, that got wild, didn't it? Motherfucker. And he's got a puke mouth, so he was eating my fucking teriyaki chicken, so he's gonna throw up again now. Son of a bitch. Anyway, any other questions? Let me know. Bye. Fucking cat.